diversity is like a big party where everyone brings their own special dish, just like each dish has its own flavor. Each person has their own unique gifts and qualities. On our podcast, we will be breaking bread with guests who are dishing out their own personal stories and sharing us just how delicious diversity can be. So put on your dancing shoes, grab a fork and knife, and let's celebrate unity through diversity in style. Hello, everybody. My name is Gina Anayana. I'm the host of the Unity Through Diversity podcast, and tonight I'm currently at Alice and Jack Wirt Library in Bay City, meeting the author of the book, First ABC's Black History, and the author is Tamika. Help me with your last name.
Vantifflin.
Welcome to Bay City.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So you drive from Chicago this morning?
Yes, I drove from Chicago. Okay. It was about 5.5 hours.
I want to go through a little bit of your background because when I read that from your bio, you said you were original from Texas.
Yes.
And you've been adopted in Michigan. So where are you in Michigan?
I was born in San Antonio. I was in foster care for about 3 years.
Okay.
And then we were adopted. I have a twin sister and a younger brother. All three of us, by the grace of God, we were a package deal, so we were adopted, and then we ended up in Bad Axe, Michigan.
Bad Axe, Michigan. When did you move to Chicago?
About 5 years ago. Yes.
Okay. So what reason?
I wanted to live in the big city. Bad Axe is a very small, predominantly white town, and there really wasn't much to offer my big imagination. So Chicago, I had a visit there back in 2016. I fell in love with the city.
So let's talk about this imaginations, right? So what inspired you to write this specific book?
My twin sister, Nita, when I tell this story, I reflect on when we were much younger. I walked in on her and she was drawing a picture of Claudette Coven. And I asked her who that was, and she said Claudette Coven was the first person to say no on the bus. And I remember arguing with her. I was like, no, it was Rosa Parks. I was so set in my ways that it was Rosa Parks. Later on, I realized that she was right. So, you had to apologize to the sister for being wrong. But that alone sparked the interest of learning more about Black history and the incredible contributions that Black people have made to American society.
That's a different way to express yourself, why you choose to write a book to kind of like get the message across, right?
Yeah, so the reason why I wrote the book is, like I mentioned earlier, I grew up in a predominantly white town.
Yes.
So when it came to learning about Black history, it was kind of like the three pillars. You had slavery, you had the three key figures, the faces of Black history: Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and the occasional George Washington Carver, the man who created 90 plus ways for a peanut, or Madam C.J. Walker, who was the first Black female millionaire. And those were the only figures I really learned growing up. So growing up in such a small-minded town, I didn't really have a lot of hope and ambition to, strive for all my dreams because the world was painted as white America. So as I grew older and learned more and more about these historical figures, such as Lewis Latimer, a Black man that created the key filament that you find in light bulbs today.
Yes.
You hear Thomas Edison, but what about Lewis Latimer? If it wasn't for Lewis Latimer, we may not have light bulbs or some form of the electrical industry. So learning about all these figures as I got older and not at a younger age, it sparked an idea for this book because I'm like, kids that grow up in similar situations as I have, or just young Black kids, to be let them be inspired. Let them grow up and see figures that look like them who made these contributions so they know they can grow up and be just like them or chase after their dreams with all this hope and ambition.
Yes, so now let's talk about this book. I want to go dive into the book part a little bit. It's like, what's the main message you wish to deliver to the parents and to the kids who are already read or who are reading, right?
Yeah, yes. So a couple of points I'd love to get across is the first one being that Black is beautiful. Black history is American history. So we need to stop dividing it because history shows that Black people have made an incredible contribution to history. And I would, first and foremost, I want that message to be relayed to the parents as well as the children. I feel in this world with racism and a lot of hate, they don't really see the bright side or the positive side of Black people. And at a young age, if you're learning all these great things and inspiring people, I feel like young kids can see that, and it'd be a great way to combat racism. So they see people as like an equal and grow up and be excited
Yes.
And then the second message, as you read the book, Yarrie has a little anxiety, and it just kind of shows a way to like get over your anxiety, like power through it and come out on the positive side of that as well. And then my favorite part of my book is the illustrations. My illustrator Theo did an incredible job to capture all the diverse children in the book. And my point with that was having the kids that read their book allow them to see themselves in the book. So not only are they learning about Black history and how incredible it is, they have an opportunity to be like, well, what did, my people do? Because there was Native Americans that created so many things and helped contribute to society, as well as Asian Americans, Hispanic Americans. There's so many different beautiful communities that are part of American history, and I hope it sparks kids' interest to like learn more about their.
That's really beautiful. I have a more personal question because grow up with one sibling is a thing. Yes. Grow up with 2 or 3, grow up with 20 siblings. I want to kind of like give us a little bit of dynamic of what this feels like to grow up in a 20 siblings family, and what did that actually influence you? You basically live in a society, like community.
Right. We did really have our own little community. Growing up, the way I like to describe it is if you have ever been to a zoo, but with all the animals out, running around and crazy, that is exactly how I would describe growing up.
What shaped you for become this author to write this book? Because I think you're probably going to witness a lot of this dynamic in the family. Probably also contribute a little bit part of the reason that you want to kind of have people to acknowledge everybody is actually different, unique.
Exactly.
Right?
You're exactly right.
So that's a part I want to touch a little bit, because the main thing I think from the introduction from library, read all the information. We talk about the diversity, right? Talk about identity, talk about the representation. So I want to maybe you use your own words to describe this book. Do you feel relate, or do you feel, is there any other words besides those 3 words? Yes.
Yeah, you said diversity, inclusion, empowerment.
Empowerment, yes.
Empowerment, bravery.
Bravery,
reading the book and you learn about all these influential historical figures, they had to be brave to make a difference. Sure. You have to be bold. And there was a quote, but it essentially was talking about how women are people that are like kind of like timid and tame. They don't make history, because you have to be brave and bold to get out there and really make a difference. So I would say brave, bold, beautiful. I mean, you see the illustrations, you see the people, you see the children reflected in the storybooks, and it's just the one beautiful thing about the country we live in. It's filled with so many beautiful and diverse individuals. And that's something that should be praised and talked about, not filled with like so much hate. And I'm hoping that message does get across within the book.
One of the last 2 questions, like why you choose Bay City?
Actually, I ended up in Bay City because my brother Thad, he's a teacher at one of the school district here, and once I announced my book, I self-published, so I really didn't know the avenue on where to go and how to really get the book out there. And Thad was a teacher. He messaged a couple of people, or made a post. I think it started with a Facebook, and it went crazy. I think over 400 people saw it, and they're like, oh, I want to purchase a copy. Can she come in? Would she be interested? And then it kind of went from there. So I would not be in Bay City, I don't think, if it wasn't for my brother Thad.
Because we literally, a couple days ago, Bay Chamber of Commerce, we have a organization called the Minority Business Partnership, and I'm the co-chair there, and the chair, he founded it. He's African American.
Oh, okay.
And we were talking about in this month to actually want to bring the minority business, but African American, to talk about that business and things like that. So when the library sent out the things, I was like, you know what? Let's do this thing.
Yes. And thank you for reaching out. That was a nice surprise to wake up to your email and set this up. So thank you.
I was like, I don't want to kind of like surprise people last minute thing, right? But I think this something is divine timing meant to for us to meet. And the last questions. So if you use 3 words to describe yourself, what would you say?
I would say ambitious, determined, and empathy. I lead with empathy in my life. I feel when it comes to like connecting with other people, I can feel and channel their feelings and just kind of like show the love. I feel sometimes the world lacks a little.
So it's ambitious, determined, and empathy.
Yes.
How you portray yourself is very important. So thank you so much for your time.
Of course.
Tamika?
Yes.
Thank you for your time here, and I also enjoy the time in Bay City. And one last, actually, you do want to share how people can
purchase your book and where they can find you, how do they connect with you if they want to, kind of connect with you, feedback or things like that?
Yeah, no, of course. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. For anyone interested in my book, you can go to my website, yarriesabcbook.com, to purchase the book. I just ordered a big bulk of shipment, so the books are waiting in my apartment to be ordered. And I'm also actually, by the grace of God, in Barnes & Noble, on their website, Target's website, and Amazon's website as well, so it can be purchased there.
Yes, we're gonna also link all the links. Welcome to Bay City. This community is very special, and we very welcoming. As much as you see, I'm here.
Yes.
So we are very diversified community.
Yes, I see that.
So thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you guys for tuning in to this short shout out for Tamika and the author of the book, Yarrie's ABCs of Black History. And
thank you.
You can grab it here, borrow here in the Basic Library too.
Yes,
Thank you guys so much.
please.